Welcome to Santo Domingo as Canada and Puerto Rico go head-to-head in the Concacaf Under-20 Women's Championship for a chance to secure that final qualification spot for the FIFA Women's U-20 World Cup in Costa Rica. A matchup with all the stakes, such high implications as these two teams meet in this qualification tournament. Both teams a lot of success during the qualification tournament, but hitting a bit of a bump in the road in the semifinal, but there's still a spot available for August. I'm Casey White on the call today. Our pitch conditions in Santo Domingo, 84 degrees Fahrenheit, a 39% chance of rain, and a little bit of a wind at 9 miles per hour as you take a look at Santo Domingo and Estadio Olímpico Felix Sanchez, which will be the site for this critical matchup for both nations here this afternoon. Both Canada and Mexico preparing to face off here shortly in the Dominican Republic. The final game for both of these teams. Two spots already secured by the United States and Mexico, but one of these two teams will be joining them as well. In just a minute, players will be starting to enter the stadium. We'll have national anthems and first kick coming up right after this. Canada and Puerto Rico entering the field with the starting 11s in the Concacaf Women's Under-20 Championship. Third place game. Both of these teams vying for third place, but what third place means is a spot in the FIFA Women's World Cup for the Under-20s. Both of these teams looking to refocus for today's game as they take the field. An exciting spot for both of these teams to be in and the players for a chance to join the United States and Mexico. National anthems we'll pause for right now, and then we'll have starting lineups to follow.
Damas y caballeros, a favor ponerse de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de Puerto Rico. Damas y caballeros, favor mantenerse de pie para escuchar el himno nacional de Canadá.
National anthems complete in Estadio Olímpico Felix Sanchez as both Puerto Rico and Canada make final preparations for this one. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for Puerto Rico first. 9 of the 11 starters here today appeared in the semifinal game. J-Lo Verada-Vázquez, the captain, being reinserted into this lineup, and Maria Sanabria Buono also, 2 players that didn't appear for Puerto Rico in the semifinal versus the United States back in today. But 6 of the goal scorers for Puerto Rico all in the starting lineup. Our officials, Katia Garcia will be our center official, assisted by Enadina Caudillo, Sandra Ramirez, and Melissa Borjas will be our 4th official as J-Lo Verada-Vázquez and Jade Rose meet at the middle for the coin toss for both Puerto Rico and Canada. We'll also have VAR as we've had this entire time during the Concacaf Under-20 Women's Championship. A great resource to help this officiating crew during this all-important game between these 2 nations. Our officiating crew also making final preparations to get a look inside the VAR booth. Our VAR referee for today, Francia Gonzalez from Mexico, assisted by Katarina Koroleva of the United States. And the starting lineup for Canada as well. 6 starters from the semifinal loss to Mexico. Annika Leslie back in the lineup in her center back role, replacing Vivian Bissett. Simi Awujo coming back into the starting lineup as well. But the front 3 of Holly Ward, Olivia Smith, and Maya Grant Clavijo, ones to watch. A lot of attacking presence from those 3 for Canada, and surely players that Canada will be depending on today in this matchup with Puerto Rico. Anna Karpenko taking the goal as final words from Brianna Pizarro with her Puerto Rican teammates before they take the field. As a player, this is what you wait for, an opportunity not only once to qualify for a World Cup, but both of these teams getting a second chance here this afternoon, which is going to make for an incredible matchup and display in Santo Domingo. Both teams taking the field now. Canada and Puerto Rico preparing for the final indication that things will get underway in Santo Domingo. And there it is, we're underway in Estadio Olímpico Felix Sanchez. Puerto Rico taking on Canada for the right to go to the World Cup in Costa Rica in August 2022 as Canada possesses in white, going from right to left. Puerto Rico in the blue kits going from left to right. I'm Casey White, absolutely ecstatic to be on the call for this one. So much at stake for these 2 nations as they meet each other for the first time in this qualification tournament. Ivy Garner able to take that one over in midfield for Puerto Rico. Looking to slip Nieves in early. Karpenko will collect that one for Canada and settle down her teammates in this first minute as we get a first look at Nat Gonzalez, the coach for the Puerto Rican team, also serving as a head coach for the senior team as well. Awujo looking to find Courtnall on that far flank. Touch by Gonzalez Cintron. Maya Grant Clavijo keeping that one in. Diaz draws the early foul from Nikayla Small. Cindy Ty, the coach for Canada, taking over in October of 2021. Her team suffering a tough loss against a good Mexican team, 1-0 on Thursday. Refocusing for this one against Puerto Rico. Diaz will see that one out, and Pizarro takes over with a throw-in on the far side for Puerto Rico. Both teams generally playing out of a 4-3-3 system of play in this tournament. Smith will take over, the leading goal scorer of the qualification tournament. Olivia Smith finds Ward on the right foot early, strikes over the top. Rada Vasquez lets that one go, and it'll be a goal kick to Puerto Rico. You can see how quickly Canada can intercept and cause a counterattack the other direction. The three front runners for Canada this evening in Ward, Grant Clavijo, and Smith account for 14 of the team's 30 goals scored in this qualification tournament. Throw into Puerto Rico in the middle third as Florian Jord retreats for Canada. Burt elects to play quickly through Torres, but well defended by Leslie. Garner will take over in midfield, looking to change the point. Well played by Small as Jordan will go down this near side flank. Three runners in front, elects to keep it through the feet of Holly Ward. And Canada will reestablish possession in the middle third. Jade Rose looking to take on in the final third, earns what appears to be a throw-in for Canada, and it is, and Brooklyn Courtnall will take this one as Rose retreats. Jord on the turn. Burns will lose that one out of play, but something that's been so successful for Canada in this tournament has been the outside back play. Zoe Burns in particular for Canada down the left side. 1 goal and 4 assists to her name from a defensive position. So something that Canada wasn't able to really take advantage of against Mexico, but in all previous 5 games, really able to create overloads in that wide area as Burns will take this throw in. Long service from Burns, back to Olivia Smith. That one over the crossbar, but Olivia Smith the current leader in goal scoring for the entire tournament, tied with the 2 players from the United States, finds herself open on this backside, pulling away from the defender, but not able to redirect that to test Verada Vasquez. Well, won by Owujo. Nieves will take over for Puerto Rico and battle with the captain, Jade Rose. Foul called against Nieves. Rose will play quickly, establishing possession again for Canada. Puerto Rico coming into this game, their only 2 losses coming from the United States in the second game of group play in Group F, and then in the semifinal again. Both of those losses 7-0 for Puerto Rico, but of the 15 goals that Puerto Rico has given up, 14 have been against the United States. So a little deceiving from Puerto Rico, as Dominican Republic, the only other team to score a goal on them in the opener of this tournament. They'll get in their defensive shape early as Canada establishes possession. Nieves elects to keep through Sanabria Buono. Taken over by George. He's in a 1v1 situation. Well defended in the back by Gonzalez Centron. In the first 10 to 15 minutes of play, important for these teams, having a short memory from the semifinal game, establishing a bit of a rhythm, some confidence, some consistency in these first 15 minutes. Very important, while also filling out the other team. As Torres is dispossessed, Holly Ward will go inline, forced over the inline by Jessica Torres, and that'll be a goal kick to Puerto Rico. Courtnall dealing with pressure well there, finds Nikayla Small. Courtnall will join the attack, beating 1, gets into the final third. But Michelle Burnt there to clear for Puerto Rico. Courtnall faces up Pizarro in the wide space. Smith will recycle play through Nikayla Small, the center mid. Long service, this one could be dangerous, but a little too much on it. Goal kick, Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico starting similarly to how they did against the United States in their defensive block in a 4-2-3-1. The United States did not break through until the 20th minute, took a lot of patience. And Canada looking to create attack and find the spaces available, starting to find some space on the outside in those wide areas. But Puerto Rico showing a bit of discipline in their defensive shape here early. Matt Gonzalez looking on, UC Riverside head coach, taking over in 2021 for Puerto Rico. Canada starting play over, trying to draw out the players from Puerto Rico out of their defensive shape, and Hart pulling out of that shape, but winning possession there, although it'll be a deflected ball over the sideline for a Canada throw. Smith taking on two. A great run forward from Smith as she has Grant Clavijo in the wide space. Tackled, no call by Katia Garcia, and Pizarro will find Brooke Hart. Well played by Diaz and Nieves. That one a little too heavy, so it'll go out of bounds. And an interesting matchup between these two teams. On one side, Puerto Rico only in their second appearance ever in the Concacaf U-20 qualification tournament. Canada has actually qualified 7 times for the World Cup, going for their 8th. Puerto Rico going for their 1st. That one won on the far side by Courtnall. Puts the back line under pressure of Puerto Rico, but well dealt with. Gonzalez looking to establish play for Puerto Rico, decides to go long as Garner gives chase. And Karpenko will be called upon to play out of the back for Canada. Rose penetrates into midfield space. A lot of space in behind the back line. Timing just a little bit off, but you can see as Puerto Rico starts to go a little higher up the field, there is some space exposed for Canada behind the back line. Canada looking to qualify for their 8th Women's World Cup at the under-20 level. Did not qualify in 2018. Did qualify in 2016, and of course 2020 was canceled due to the global pandemic. So looking to qualify again. Puerto Rico not advancing out of the qualification group in 2020. Smith will find Ward in a 1v1 on this left side. She'll look to take on Michelle Burnt, defending, does well to keep her feet. That one cleared. Milano doing well defensively against Grant Clavijo. Diaz takes over for Puerto Rico. Good interchange in midfield from Canada. This one falls to Jord. Save Verada Vasquez. Not a lot on that one, but a shot to test the Puerto Rican keeper here in the 15th minute. Well won by Leslie. And one of the big things Cindy Tai, the manager for Canada, spoke about was just the ability to rest, recover, and refocus after a loss in the semifinal. For both of these teams, it's so important to be able to do that, and managing the emotions of it is something that's very testing for these players. Burt does well to play out of that one in her 7th start of this qualification tournament as Grant Clavijo will take over. Burns taking on in the 1v1, quick feet, Burt again up to the task defensively for Puerto Rico, getting tested early as the right back, doing quite well. Michelle Burt, the young player from Florida United, been very good in this qualification tournament, played in midfield in the beginning, now the last few games playing at the outside back position, showing a bit of versatility for Puerto Rico. Abujo looking to find Courtnall. She does. Courtnall, preparation touch, looking to the back post. Verada Vasquez, second save, and potentially a third. Finally able to secure that one as Verada Vasquez, the first real dangerous opportunity for either team, comes off the service from Brooklyn Courtnall. The outside back getting forward. And the second and third chance from Grant Clavijo really tests Verada Vasquez. And that's something that Canada has been so effective at in this qualification tournament, is a lot of their goals have come off second and third chance opportunities. Very opportunistic in front of goal is this Canadian U-20 team. And they show right there they can make sure that they have organization in the box for those second and third chance opportunities. Diaz finds Pizarro, and they'll go long through the feet of Alondra Nieves. That one inches over the sideline. Canada ball. We're in the 19th minute in Santo Domingo. Canada and Puerto Rico in the third place game. I'm Casey White on the call for this one. Both teams trying to secure the final spot to the World Cup. Jessica Torres taking over in midfield for Puerto Rico. She'll continue to go forward. And that one across the sideline indicated by our assistant official. That'll go the way of Canada. And really one main opportunity so far in these opening 19 minutes coming from Grant Clavijo on the opportunity we just saw from Canada just a second ago. Well cut out by Gonzalez, and Hart will try to keep this one in, and she does. Well possessed by Hart and taking on Brooklyn Courtnall. And one of the things proving a bit of a challenge for Puerto Rico early on is generating numbers forward. They have a really distinct defensive shape that they're getting back in. At times in a 4-2-3-1, it merging into 4-1-4-1. But getting those numbers forward, really difficult for Puerto Rico as Canada recovers well defensively and has established more possession. Jord appealing for a call there as Small takes over and looks to dribble penetrate. She'll try one with her right foot. That one's saved and parried wide by Verada Vasquez. A good opportunity for Canada. Torres and Burt trying to play out of the back. Burns potentially will play this quickly. She does to Grant Clavijo. Clipped inside, Holly Ward. Great touch by Holly Ward. Verada Vasquez has to come. Good instincts by the keeper for Puerto Rico, coming off her line quickly. All of this starts strike from Michaela Small, the holding mid. A good save, and not only to keep that from going in the net, but to get it away from pressure for a second chance for Canada. And so far, J-Lo Verada Vasquez coming up big for Puerto Rico, keeping this one even. Foul called. That'll be a free kick to Puerto Rico. Gonzalez elects to play short and establish possession for Puerto Rico. Haven't been able to find a lot of possession higher up in their attacking half, so trying to do so now. Jord with lots of space in midfield, well recovered by Ivy Garner, but Canada continuing to go forward. Ward finds Jord in the penalty area, and that one goes over the in-line, will be a corner kick to Canada, their first of the game. Burns has been the set-piece specialist for Canada all along in this qualification tournament, so no doubt she'll step over this one. First corner kick that Canada has earned. First corner kick for either team, in fact. This one driven to the deep area of the 6. It bounces down, Jade Rose, that one cleared off the line, second chance. Wow, close one for Canada, and they'll get a second chance at it with this corner kick in the 23rd minute. The service so dangerous to this back area. Multiple runners. Awujo trying to head that one down. Cleared off the line by Brooke Hart. Does her job on that post covering for Verada Vasquez. We do have VAR officials on this that are pausing the game potentially to look at it, but play on, says Katia Garcia. Burns will serve it again deep, but this one a little further out, not quite as dangerous as Smith strikes. A great strike from Olivia Smith at the top of the penalty area. Two very good opportunities for Canada, and Puerto Rico able to survive both of them. The half volley from Olivia Smith just shows that she is someone to watch in this game. Diaz will look to spring Nieves. A tough matchup for Nieves and Jade Rose, but she keeps this one. Again, Rose recovers. A hopeful ball behind, but Smith might do something with this. That one, though, into the arms of Verada Vasquez. Smith has been lively in the last few minutes, looking to get behind in that half volley strike off the last corner kick. The youngest player in Canada history to see time with the women's national team at 15 years old, taking over Cara Lang's position as the youngest player to do so. And then you've got Jade Rose on the other end defensively for Canada, who's also been called into the senior team. Awujo looking for help. They'll have to recycle this one. And a lot of the success has come from the outside backs going forward for Canada in this tournament. One of their good opportunities was from Courtnall going forward and getting across. Rose clipping this one to Smith. Looking to control it is Smith. Strong on the ball, takes two to clear it out, but that'll fall to Burns. Burns on her right foot. Greg Clavijo, and this one cleared out eventually. Nikayla Small will take over for Canada, not allowing Puerto Rico to get any higher. Procart has to retreat to help, but still locked in, and this falls to Holly Ward. Sent across, missed by Jord. Cleared out by Puerto Rico. But the organization of Canada and their countermeasures when it's cleared has been very good. Puerto Rico not able to get out. And Zawujo takes a strike. Murata Vasquez hangs on to that low one. Tough save for Vasquez, but she does it. Simi Awujo with an opportunistic strike. Good preparation touch there to get it off. And so often the long-range shots do present themselves against a team that's being more disciplined defensively like Puerto Rico is this afternoon. Gonzalez Cintron finds the feet of Diaz. And again, organization from Canada defensively wins possession for them as Courtnall looks to go forward. Small goes out into that wide space from her center midfield position, looking to dictate play. Plays Grant Clavijo in behind. Well taken. Smith gets it on her left foot. Defended by Torres. Puerto Rico looking to step their lines, but again, Canada taking over defensively. Nieves 1 versus 2 at all times up top on these clearances. It's going to be a cooling break in the 28th minute, signaled by our center official, Katia Garcia. 84 degrees at the start of this game, so the player is not only taking an opportunity to get hydrated and cool off a bit, but also some instruction. A really tight match right now, 0-0 on both sides. Canada establishing a lot more of the possession in this first half, but Puerto Rico staying strong defensively in their disciplined unit as Ivy Garner gets some instruction from assistant coach Carlos Juarez for Puerto Rico. And a lot of times with a team that's playing very disciplined defensively, it takes a lot of patience from the team that has established possession, and that is Canada here this afternoon. But Puerto Rico only giving up 1 goal so far in this tournament, besides to the United States. Puerto Rico, a bit of a surprise semifinalist, having only been in this tournament at all since the new expanded format for Concacaf. First appearance in 2020. So trying to make the most of their first appearance this far in the tournament, coming up against that roadblock in the United States, but having this second chance opportunity against Canada in Santo Domingo. Players will start to take the field again as we enter the 30th minute here in the Dominican Republic. Anna Karpenko in goal for Canada is in her 5th appearance and 5th start of this qualification tournament. And there'll be a throw in on the near side to restart play through Michelle Burnt.
Guys, check out. Hey, hey, hey.
This one falls to Smith. Right-footed strike. Save Murata Vasquez. And Smith has started to make her presence known in the last 10 minutes for Canada with 3 very good opportunities. This one again off the right foot. 7 goals on the campaign for her so far, tied with Michelle Cooper of the United States and Andrea Kitahata of the United States. Now more numbers forward for Puerto Rico. Jessica Torres and Diaz looking to get forward. This one crossed in. Bit bit of a weird bounce. Canada, again, not quite able to clear, as that one will go across for a corner kick for Puerto Rico, their first of the game. Organization going on in the penalty area for Canada as Michelle Burnt will step up with her right foot. One going short, this one will be served long. Karpenko, nothing she can't handle, collects that one. Michelle Burnt is not in her right back position. Smart to recognize from Karpenko to spring Holly Ward, but Garner helping back defensively. In partnership with Gonzalez in that center back role. On the foot of Smith, she'll avoid two defenders, finding Small. Courtnall plays this one far to the back post. Garner sees it out, goal kick Puerto Rico. Verada Vasquez did not play against the United States in the second matchup, the semifinal one, but back in the starting lineup this afternoon. Ariana Anderson having 14 saves against the United States, a good performance, but Verada Vasquez, the captain, coming back in for this all-important game. Long service from Burns. Smith is in behind. Verada Vasquez is out. A collision in front. Burnt giving chase as Verada Vasquez recovers into her goal. And that will be a throw-in for Canada, but an opportunity for Olivia Smith. Verada Vasquez being pulled off her line, but had 4 Puerto Rican defenders covering behind her after the collision. There is going to be a VAR check on that last collision as Verada Vasquez is down and will need medical attention. And there was a collision, but the high kick from Olivia Smith, a bit concerning there. That might be something that is considered in this VAR check for the penalty. Brianna Pizarro making sure nothing comes of it after the collision. And 4 players behind the ball for Puerto Rico outnumbers the Canadian forwards, and they're able to get it out of play. And a bit concerning for Puerto Rico as J-Lo Verada Vasquez is down after that collision. But again, Ariana Anderson did get valuable minutes in the previous game against the United States, but it looks like Verada Vasquez will ensure she stays in this one. Players being urged back onto the field for both Puerto Rico and Canada. When play does resume, it appears it's going to be a throw-in on the near side for Canada. Zoe Burns taking that one over. And there will be a VAR check, enough to call Katia Garcia over. We have 2 officials in the booth, Francia Gonzalez and Ekaterina Koroleva, looking this one over, asking the center official to do the same. And it appears it could even be a potential offside check on Olivia Smith. It's very, very tight. But our center official will get a good look at this one. Canada did receive a penalty off a VAR check in the quarterfinal game in their 1-0 win over Panama that Holly Ward converted. And now another one here in a 0-0 game, potentially, as Smith and Verada Vasquez both collide. And a bit of a dangerous play on both sides. It appears that high kick may be something that impacts Katia Garcia's decision, but we'll see, as she has made one and jogs back out. And there is a penalty going to be given in the 37th minute. The foul against Verada Vasquez, earned by Olivia Smith, not playing the ball, says Katia Garcia, and Canada will have a chance to take a lead here. Holly Ward leaves this one for Zoe Burns, and Holly Ward did take the 30th minute penalty against Panama, so certainly something that could be scouted and will be scouted throughout this tournament. So the left back, Zoe Burns, will step up. Some organization and discussion from Katia Garcia. All players ready to go. A big moment for Canada and Puerto Rico in the 38th minute. Burns with the right foot, Verada Vasquez, and she converts. Zoe Burns, the 38th minute penalty goal for the left back, puts Canada on top of Puerto Rico 1-0. Just a clinical finish from the outside back, coming up in such a critical moment on this penalty drawn by Olivia Smith, the right forward for Canada. But she makes no doubt about that one, Zoe Burns, and celebrates like she should. J-Lo Verada Vasquez sent the opposite way, just side-footing this one into that side netting. Zoe Burns gives Canada the 1-0 lead. Courtnall early service. Jordan the backside, and it's another one in under a minute. Florian Jord doubles the lead for Canada. What a turnaround in this first half. Burns first with the penalty, Florian Jord with the full volley off the service from Brooklyn Courtnall. And the back line of Puerto Rico just not stepping up early enough, a little uneven. And Florian Jord is the recipient of that, and what a volley from her. Nothing Verada Vasquez could do about it. 2-0 Canada. Foul called. This will be a free kick to Puerto Rico, and what a momentum change in a matter of 2 minutes. First, the penalty kick, VAR check, and then two players that did not start in the game versus Mexico combining for that second goal off the foot of Courtnall to Jord, giving Canada the 2-0 lead. It's at the foot of Gonzalez. She'll serve it in. Karpenko comes out and will take over possession for Canada. Puerto Rico scrambling a bit with this clearance to the middle as Canada continues to push. A lot of the momentum in their favor and not stopping before halftime as Smith tackles that one out of bounds. Good feet by Smith. Finding Grant Clavillo in the penalty area. As Gonzalez tries to build numbers forward for Puerto Rico. That one will be tackled away, and the goal for Zoe Burns, her second of the tournament. She does have 4 assists, but her second, this one, first from a penalty, one was from the run of play. And Florian Jord getting her 3rd goal. And take a look at this view. His eye on the ball, just having to redirect it. Enough pace on that service from Brooklyn Courtnall, allowing Florian Jord to not have to put too much pace on it, just redirecting it the way it came from. It was just a completely clinical and technical finish from the midfielder. Canada now in full control of this first half, and 2-0, not really telling the story of the whole first half, breaking through not until the 38th minute, but they have enjoyed the majority of possession. Puerto Rico taking more of a defensive role and it working for 38 minutes until that VAR check. But now a big separation with those 2 goals going into halftime. Ward finds the feet of Smith. 3 defenders around Smith. And she'll continue to go. Now 4 defenders, takes the strike. Deflection, Verada Vasquez keeps this in, disallowing a corner kick for Canada. Torres battling Holly Ward on the near side as Jord takes over. This one cleared and out for a throw-in for Canada. Good feet by Rose, avoiding pressure of Brooke Hart, and that's something we'll see probably more as this game goes on. Puerto Rico is going to have to commit numbers forward at some point as Courtnall goes in the far side space. Courtnall with the left-footed service. This one goes through to Grant Clavijo, well taken. And reestablishing possession is Canada as Nieves eventually able to clear this one a bit out of danger. Well dealt with by Gonzalez Cintron, tough tackle on the near side as we get towards the end of regulation. Grant Clavijo looking to get ahead on this one, and there will be 4 minutes of additional time added as Pizarro sees that one out. So still a good amount of time here in the first half, as indicated by our 4th official. Grant Clavillo doing a lot of work up top centrally for Canada. Didn't start in the semifinal game. Olivia Smith was in that center forward role and Kayla Novak on the wing. But Grant Clavillo doing a lot of work today there as Owujo continues to push forward. Canada not settling for just a 2-0 lead. Finds Holly Ward, turns in the box. But Gonzalez Cintron there to defend. Owujo on the left foot. That one goes over, goal kick Puerto Rico. That one just not able to test Verada Vasquez, but Simi Owujo doing well. Also not starting in the semifinal game, getting the start here this afternoon and helping control things in midfield and creating overloads as Owujo tries to get into those outside spaces. Portnall looking to dribble penetrate, finds the feet of Smith. Great turn, left foot strike. Save, Verada Vasquez. And Olivia Smith, the goal scorer for Canada in previous games, not getting on the board today, but just the quick release from her off both the right and left foot just shows how good she can be in that attacking third. Torres looking to penetrate, only has Brooke Hart, but still finds Brooke Hart. And a bit of a personnel change as Nieves has dropped into midfield. Brooke Hart playing more centrally up top for Puerto Rico challenges. Canada enjoying possession and the 2-0 lead as we end the near the end of the first half as Courtnall will go forward. Now getting into the attacking half is Canada, perhaps looking for one more opportunity as the clock winds down. Courtnall, who had the assist on the Jord goal, not able to provide the delivery on that one, and Verada Vasquez will take over. Puerto Rico staff Nat Gonzalez and assistant coach Carlos Juarez looking on potential changes coming in the second half to try to get back in this one for Puerto Rico as Ward fights off the pressure of Burnt but recovered. Left-footed service from Burns. Taken by Smith, goes down. Play on, says Katia Garcia. And that'll do it. That's the end of the first half. 45 minutes complete between Canada and Puerto Rico. Canada, 2 goals in 2 minutes to take the 2-0 lead into halftime off a penalty from Zoe Burns and Florian Jord with a great left-footed volley. We'll have halftime highlights and stats coming up right after this. so much at stake in this one in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, as Canada and Puerto Rico face off for that final World Cup berth. In the first half, Canada established possession very early. A couple opportunities early on as Holly Ward takes the right-footed strike on this one, but a lot of them sailing over the crossbar like this as Puerto Rico sat in a very disciplined shape for most of the half. Olivia Smith tied for the lead as the Golden Boot so far in this tournament. Not able to redirect that one. Courtnall trying to get in here, but Verona Vasquez being up to the task. Canada has been so good historically in this tournament, scoring on those second chance opportunities. But those wide spaces are something that Canada was trying to take advantage of in the first half, but Verona Vasquez able to collect that one. And Nikayla Small again forcing a save from Verona Vasquez. And as the half wore on, you could just tell Canada was starting to create more and more opportunities after establishing possession. That really was testing not only Verona Vasquez, but the back line of Puerto Rico. Holly Ward on this one, a little creativity. Verona Vasquez able to come out to help her back line. Canada continuing to show patience and creating opportunities, not quite able to break through. And then the corner kick here, perhaps the best opportunity before anything happened in this first half, off the head of Jade Rose, and then Simi Awujo coming so close, but cleared out by Brooke Hart and Gonzalez Cintron, keeping Puerto Rico in this one, but Puerto Rico not really able to generate chances going forward. This half volley from Olivia Smith sailing over the crossbar as well, and just nothing to break through. But the 38th minute, this would go to a VAR check from our officiating crew, and Verona Vasquez would be called for the penalty kick on that foul on Olivia Smith. Zoe Burns providing the early separation in the 38th minute with this calm finish from the spot. Her second goal of the qualification tournament, a huge one for Canada, providing the 1-0 lead. And less than a minute later, Courtnall plays this beautiful ball in. Florian Jord with her third goal of the tournament with a left-footed volley. And that's the difference. A great finish. Her timing of her run, perfect. The service lifted up to that backside area. The marking not quite there for Puerto Rico. And although Canada was pressing, it took 38 minutes to get those two goals. And that's the halftime score that we are currently at, 2-0 to Canada. Puerto Rico needing to generate something in this second half to try to get back in the game, and Canada looking to hang on in Santo Domingo to the lead that they got in this first half. If you take a look at the halftime stats, 14-0 in shots, 8 of those 14 on frame. J-Lo Verona Vasquez being kept busy. 3-2 in fouls, pretty even. No offside on either side. 2-1 in corners to Canada. And the possession really is what broke down Puerto Rico eventually. 68% possession in favor of Canada in the first half. They exhibited patience, and it paid off with 2 goals. Coming up after this, we'll have a little bit of a break and then the second half kick to see if Puerto Rico can come back into this one or if Canada will maintain this lead and get to that World Cup in August. Stick around. Halftime almost complete in Estadio Olímpico. Felix Sanchez, as Nat Gonzalez, coach for Puerto Rico, gives a little instruction tactically to Maria Sanabria Buono. There will be a substitution at halftime as well, as Canada and Puerto Rico take the field. Kira Mellenhorst coming into the game for Canada. Both teams coming out after halftime. It'll be interesting to see what changes are made. Puerto Rico, definitely the team that's going to have to figure out how to change the trajectory of this game. The first half very much in favor of Canada with 68% possession, and then that resulting in 2 goals in 2 minutes for the 2-0 lead as both teams take the field. Zoe Burns with that first goal off a penalty kick. It was very composed finish from the left back for her second goal of the game. Verona Vasquez kept very busy by Canada. Came up big with a lot of saves, but ultimately couldn't keep the team level. There's the whistle. We're underway in the second half of this third-place game for the final qualification berth as Canada starts quickly, putting the back line of Puerto Rico under pressure. I'm Casey White on the call for this one, and a big one it is between these two nations. Canada with a 2-0 lead, making one substitution. Kira Mellenhorst coming in for Nikayla Small. Canada in the white uniforms, going left to right. Puerto Rico in the blue kits, going right to left. They'll have to try to generate more numbers forward, Puerto Rico, to try to get back in this one. Well dealt with by Mellenhorst, the halftime substitute. And the shape still looks similar for Puerto Rico. But Jessica Torres in that center forward position for them as Canada looks to go forward quickly. Gonzalez goes on the near side as Olivia Smith provides chase. Able to dispossess is Smith and draws the foul against Emma Gonzalez. This will go the way of Canada. Nat Gonzalez guiding Puerto Rico through this second ever Concacaf World Cup qualifying tournament. This is their highest finish for this group, and coming up against a tough Canadian team facing the United States in the semifinal. Now Canada in this third place game as Jessica Torres looks to go against Jade Rose. That'll be cleared out for a throw-in. Pizarro plays with Garner. 1v1 on the side is Garner. Left-footed ball across as Courtnall defends. Rose will clear. And already numbers higher for Puerto Rico, which is to be expected. Perhaps a different approach if it had remained 0-0 through those final 7 minutes as Pizarro looks to combine with Garner. This one goes out, goal kick. But those 2 goals in 2 minutes change everything with the tactical approach for Puerto Rico in this second half. Cindy Tai has to be happy as she looks on to her Canadian team taking that 2-0 lead into halftime. And Puerto Rico's now defending in a 3-2-4-1 shape, so going to 3 in the back with Ana Diaz, that holding mid, sliding into the back line. That'll allow them to get numbers a bit higher but it is a little bit riskier at the back, but got to do it at this point. This is the game that dictates everything, getting that final spot to the World Cup in Costa Rica. Gonzalez in the 1v1 with Smith. Smith fighting her off. A little tug on the arm, definite foul on Emma Gonzalez. Free kick that Smith earned for Canada. Smith just so strong in the turn. A little tug from Emma Gonzalez, and then Gonzalez Cintron coming over as well. Pizarro has pushed up into more of that left midfield role as Puerto Rico is in the 3-back now. So you can expect to see some of the attacking from the wide areas from Canada as they look to extend their lead. Olivia Smith in the 1v1 again, well defended by Brianna Pizarro. Garner dispossesses in midfield. Unable to get around Courtnall, and Canada will take over in a dangerous area, but deciding to keep possession instead. And that's the luxury of having the 2-0 lead. Canada, of course, would love a third goal, but doesn't have to push for it. Burns draws 2. And that one cleared. Burkhart leads the team for Puerto Rico in goals scored, currently with 5 goals and 2 assists. So definitely a player that Puerto Rico will be looking to as they go forward through Jessica Torres, also one of the goal scorers for this team. Courtnall able to find Smith's feet, dangerous in the box, draws 3 defenders, does Olivia Smith. Finally taken away by Emma Gonzalez. A lot of pressure from Canada. Holly Ward in the 1v1. She'll beat Gonzalez Cintron on the right foot. It's a strike, save by Verada Vasquez, backed up by Diaz, but Canada continuing to generate opportunities forward. Awujo on the left foot. This one will trickle just outside the box to Florian Jord. And Smith trying to search it out, not able to do so. Garner finally clears. And Canada not settling for this 2-0 lead. Ward with a great strike forces the save from Verada Vasquez, and no one there to be able to follow up. Smith on the turn, right-footed strike, goes across goal instead of on frame. Sanabria Buono looking to go forward. Torres will chase Leslie. Will play back through Karpenko to relieve pressure. And Puerto Rico better at getting numbers higher so far in this half, but Canada doing very well in possession. Diaz takes over possession in midfield. And the wide space found as well through the feet of Hart. foul called on Holly Ward. And this will be a set piece from a dangerous area for Puerto Rico in the 54th minute. Burkhart looking to take on two players. Ward coming from behind, called for that foul. And this is one of two ways that Puerto Rico can try to get back in this one against Canada. One of them numbers higher up the field, which they're attempting to do in their new system of play with 3-2-4-1. Now set pieces, free kicks, corner kicks, another way to generate opportunity against a team in Canada that's established possession. Garner with the service. This one bounces down to Grant Clavijo, finally cleared by Mellenhorst, well dealt with by Canada. Play on, says our center official. And Burt will try to pressure Holly Ward, but she deals with that one incredibly well, finding the feet of Jord. Holly Ward takes over on that far side flank. No one covering Michelle Burnt, goes to the left. This one across, Verada Vasquez collects for Puerto Rico. Wanting to start that counterattack is Verada Vasquez, having to pause a little bit there, but she'll go long. This one headed out, and Puerto Rico can now establish possession a little bit higher up the field as that one goes off the head of Courtnall. Diaz in the 1v1, well covered by Courtnall. And as Puerto Rico starts to get more numbers forward, inevitably you're going to see spaces start to open up for both Puerto Rico and especially Canada as Puerto Rico generates numbers forward, less numbers in the back. So really it's about which team can manage that space and take advantage quicker, and Canada's put themselves in a good spot with a 2-0 lead. Awujo checking her shoulder, looking for the change of point, and she'll spray this one out to Olivia Smith. 5 behind the ball, but she'll strike this one wide. Doesn't quite strike it as cleanly as she has shown earlier in this game and in the qualification tournament, but a threat nonetheless when the ball is at the foot of Olivia Smith. Staff from Puerto Rico chatting a bit as we start to look and what more personnel changes will be made in this game. Puerto Rico yet to make a substitution, going with 9 of the 11 players that they've started most of these games. But also what tactical changes are being made, one already being done in this game to get numbers higher up the field to try to generate some goal scoring chances for Puerto Rico. Grant Clavijo coming into that space in front of the back line, doing well to help Canada keep possession amongst a lot of Puerto Rican players. Mellenhorst finds the half space. Combination with Ward to Mellenhorst. Burnt comes across, well defended by the outside back. Olivia Smith takes it to her right foot again, draws the foul, and surely a penalty kick again given, the second of the game coming in the 59th minute, and both penalties drawn by Olivia Smith, the front runner. A critical moment in this third place game as Gonzalez Cintron comes across the cover for Emma Gonzalez, and just not patient enough. Olivia Smith getting that touch around, and experienced forward takes a hard hit. Gonzalez Cintron knows she came in late on that one, and this is a very critical moment in this game. Olivia Smith appears to be stepping up to this one, drew the first one. Zoe Burns converted the penalty in the 38th minute. Olivia Smith draws this one and will be taking over the role of the penalty kick taker as Verada Vasquez is urged back into her goal by our center official. Olivia Smith with the right foot, save Verada Vasquez. Big time save, and that might inject some energy into this Puerto Rican team. Jessica Torres trips over that one. It's still not out quite yet. Courtnall with a great ball in behind to Smith. On the right foot, a strike, and cleared out finally off of Jade Rose, the captain. What a save in the 61st minute. Could be potentially huge for Puerto Rico if they were able to find one goal to get themselves back in it. This one not to a corner from Olivia Smith, and Verada Vasquez doesn't overdive and able to get that one, not only the initial save, but out of an area for a second chance opportunity. Two substitutions are coming for Puerto Rico. Nieves Melcher coming into the game for Buono, and Carish Rivera de Jesus coming into the game as well. She'll come in for Brooke Hart. So Brooke Hart exiting a good qualification tournament for Brooke Hart, the front runner, but a different look now for Puerto Rico, bringing in two players that have had multiple appearances and start in this tournament. Aurelia Nieves Melcher, one that is very active up top, and De Jesus coming into that midfield will give Puerto Rico a bit of a different look. Sanabria Buono, a defensive player coming out of the game, being replaced by two attacking players. Foul called on Grant Clavijo, drawn by Diaz, and most recently, Smith missing that penalty. We're in the 62nd minute, 2-0 Canada leading Puerto Rico in this all-important qualification game for a World Cup berth. I'm Casey White, bringing you this game from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, as Puerto Rico has made some tactical changes in their system of play. Now 2 personnel changes, getting some more attacking-minded players into the game, recognizing this final third of the game is going to be important to generate opportunities forward, having only generated 1 shot so far in the game against Canada.
Yeah, it's fine.
Some more substitutions coming in for Canada. Mia Ponte and Kayla Novak looking on. Ponte is going to replace Zoe Burns, who had the 38th minute goal to take the 1-0 lead. Her second goal of the game, Mia Ponte coming in, as well as an outside back, one that can score and assist. And Novak coming into the game for Olivia Smith, who will finish her qualification tournament on 7 goals. Novak, a speedy forward as well, someone who's contributed on the score line in this qualification tournament. Holly Ward now shifted to that right winger side where Olivia Smith was occupying space prior to her substitution. Kayla Novak on the far side flank up top for Canada as Mia Ponte, the second half substitute, also on the ball, finding Awujo. Awujo has taken over for Nikayla Small in that holding mid-roll, done quite well to set tempo as Holly Ward chases on, but Verada Vasquez very alert to that threat and comes out. Garner pressing, Torres able to go, two players giving chase, and Rose will catch up using her speed. De Jesus takes over, and Nieves on the opposite side takes on two. The most players forward for Puerto Rico we've seen is Alondra Nieves, just too much on that one. Goal kick to Karpenko in Canada. Helping that one on, a good little touch from her as Ward taking on inside on the left foot, goes back to her right, drawing players is Ward, not getting rid of that one quick enough, but a dangerous run forward from the winger for Canada. Clavijo wriggles her way out, finds Mellenhorst on the right foot to the far post, save! Verada Vasquez as Rivera de Jesus gives chase. And that one goes over the sideline, but a great save from Verada Vasquez, and she's done so well to not only make the save, but get it out of the penalty area. Courtnall gets around Pizarro, but Gonzalez there to help. Keeping possession is Courtnall. Torres putting pressure on. Good experience from Rose exhibited there to let that one trickle out under immense pressure. Melcher wins that one through Pizarro, looking to play long, but Torres not in a high enough position to pressure Karpenko. Two v one potential on this near side as Mellenhorst takes on. Decides to keep it herself momentarily, but will find Ward. Good combination and interchange, slipping Grant Clavijo in behind. But Garner, the midfielder, helps, forcing play backwards. Novak. Left-footed service. That one headed down, but cleared out by Gonzalez Cintron. Not out of the final third, though, as Canada reestablishes possession. And that's something that's been so effective for Canada. You have to give them credit for is they've been able to organize defensively. Ponte tries one. Verada Vasquez able to collect quite easily, and she'll look to spring the counterattack. Pizarro giving chase, keeps it in. Well done by Brianna Pizarro. Foul called on Nieves Melcher. Mellenhorst stands over it and will decide to leave it. Nieves Melcher has been a critical component of Puerto Rico's team, has appeared in 6 of the 7 games, so has gotten minutes in a lot of different environments in this qualification tournament, the 16-year-old. This one lifted over the top. Novak gets the second ball. Jord finds Greg Clavijo, and that one deflects, and oh, so close for Canada. That one will go out, corner kick. Bit of a scary moment for Puerto Rico as it took a deflection and wrong-footed their goalkeeper, but does not go into the goal. Instead will be a set-piece opportunity for Canada. This is great unselfish play from Florian Jord. And a helpless feeling from J-Lo Verada Vasquez, you got to think on that one, and luckily for Puerto Rico, just a set piece from it. Left-footed service across from Jord. Jade Rose gets a head on it. Goal kick. There'll be a cooling break now in the 71st minute as Puerto Rico and Canada both jog over to the sideline. A good moment for a quick refresher, both with hydration but also with tactics, what they need to do. But Puerto Rico, I can only assume, is going to want to get back out there pretty quickly, as only under 20 minutes left in regulation for them to mount some sort of comeback to put Canada under pressure. One goal could change the momentum of this game, but Puerto Rico struggling to get too many numbers forward, and a lot of that due to how Canada possesses, but also how they organize when they do lose possession. So that transition to their defending has been excellent today, and Puerto Rico not able to get a lot of possession even when Canada is committed forward. Puerto Rico looking to try to generate something from set pieces or numbers going forward to try to get that opportunity on frame. It's continuing to warm up in Santo Domingo as Holly Ward and Gonzalez Cintron both get some water during the cooling break. Canadian team surely happy with where they're at, but not taking anything for granted, as they did not qualify in 2018 for the last World Cup. So this would be their 8th appearance that they're closing in on. Very important for them in this moment. Puerto Rico trying to get their first ever bid to a World Cup at the under 20 level. About 2 minutes for that cooling break. And Katia Garcia will whistle for this one to get underway again. Good work by Nieves Melcher, but Nieves is put straight under pressure off that pass, throw into Canada. This Canadian team has scored now 32 goals in this tournament, but even perhaps just as impressive, only 1 goal against. And that was the goal against Mexico in the semifinal that helped Mexico punch their ticket to the World Cup in Costa Rica. So the defensive side for Canada as well been very good, only allowing 24 shots in this tournament as well, and only 1 today from Puerto Rico. Good ball in behind from Mellenhorst. This will go Puerto Rico's way as Verada Vasquez looks to push the tempo. A little bit of a grab on the arm from Jord, trying to get some position. Michelle Burnt earns that set piece for Puerto Rico. Emma Gonzalez down the defender and needing medical attention quite quickly.
Camilla, señores, Camilla. Señores, Camilla, Camilla.
Emma Gonzalez, 17-year-old, that's down for Puerto Rico, has started all 7 games. Out of those 7, has completed 5 of them in their entirety as she gets a little bit of medical attention. Emma Gonzalez up to her feet, will walk over to the sideline. Puerto Rico will be down a player momentarily, so big moments for Puerto Rico unless this substitution is for her, and it very well could be as Layla Molina gets ready to enter the game, and it is for Emma Gonzalez. Layla Molina, the defender, will take her spot potentially in the back line unless we have another player shift back there from the personnel change. The third substitution used for Nat Gonzalez and his Puerto Rican under-20 team in the 76th minute. Pizarro appears to have shifted back there with Diaz. Mellenhorst keeps that one in, the halftime substitute. Corner kick drawn by Ivy Garner, and this is an important set piece for Puerto Rico. Still some time left in this one. If this were to generate an opportunity for a goal, would put Canada in a tough position. So the organization really important for Canada and equally important for Puerto Rico. Five runners for Puerto Rico in the penalty area, with Torres at the top of the penalty area and one on Karpenko. A lot committed forward. This service into a dangerous area. It bounces down, still not out. Mellenhorst finally clearing. Pizarro will take this over. And chooses to go wide instead of reservicing it into that area. A bit surprising as Sonia Walk gets ready to come into the game. She'll be replacing Florian Jord, who was the second goal scorer of this afternoon. Her goal coming in the 39th minute, doubling the lead for Canada. The midfielder 1 minute after the penalty kick from Zoe Burns. A lot of experience coming into the game in Sonia Walk. Her 6th appearance, has done a lot of work in midfield, including in that semifinal game. So looking to really see this one out for Canada with her composure in midfield. It'll be a throw in the opposite way for Puerto Rico. Michelle Burnt will look to push the pace a bit through Alondra Nieves, but 4 Canadians around Nieves, and she's dispossessed. Ward looking to find Novak on a slashing run through. Rada Vasquez not going to let that happen. Coming out and distributing to her right back. Garner draws 2 defenders for Canada and potentially a third, but still gets around Ivy Garner. Great feet from the midfielder, again against Mia Ponte. She'll earn a corner kick for Puerto Rico. So 2 corner kicks earned in the last couple minutes from Ivy Garner and Puerto Rico. The last one not as well executed as I'm sure Puerto Rico would have liked, as Nat Gonzalez urges on his team. These are the moments that are really important for a team that is down, coming up on 10 minutes left in the second half. Off the left foot, this one driven far to the back post, ahead! Gonzalez Cintron timing just a little bit off, but a much more dangerous service on that one for Puerto Rico. And you can see how set pieces can really provide an opportunity to make your way back into a game of this magnitude. That's a great service off the left foot of Brianna Pizarro. And just the timing of the run, the organization of the run, not perfectly timed there, but still an opportunity for Puerto Rico. Novak elects to possess through Rose, the captain, finding Walk in the outside space. Well played through midfield. Ward had that early service in behind the back line, but decides to possess as well. Draws a little bit of time off the clock as well as the Puerto Rican defenders, and earns her team the throw-in. Just precious moments continuing to tick off the clock for Puerto Rico. Looking to draw the foul is Ward, but Pizarro sees that one across. Goal kick. This one played long from Burnt. Garner takes over. Good blindside run from Molina. Only 2 in the box for Puerto Rico, but she'll still serve. Trying to find Torres. Strong snag from Anna Karpenko. Being called upon in that moment in the 82nd minute and rising to the occasion, Anna Karpenko. Strong run from Walk in the outside space. She'll have tons of time. Cut out by Diaz and cleared from Pizarro. Nieves Melcher will look to go the other way for Puerto Rico, and quickly 2v2 at the back, but unable to connect with Torres as she chases. It'll be a throw-in for Puerto Rico in their attacking half, so better from them. But Jade Rose has just been so calm and composed in the back, which is what you would expect from your captain, someone who's earned 2 caps with the senior team. So much experience back there helping see out this game for Canada. A little bit of confusion there, but nonetheless, the free kick will go to Puerto Rico. Perhaps coming in with the clean up just a little bit is Holly Ward.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I decide, okay? Hey, 17!
Torres unmarked on this near side, but Pizarro looking like she might go long. Had some success on the last corner kick. off the left foot of Pizarro, and she does go long. This one driven well to the back post, defended very well by Annika Leslie and finally cleared by Novak. Diaz leaving that one a bit of confusion. Well done by Diaz to recover, and Burnt a little bit of backup from the outside back. Davis Melcher has Torres too late on that ball, not recognizing the space early, and gives Jade Rose some time to come over and cover, but better from Puerto Rico, trying to push. Still 2 goals, a tough one to overcome, but trying to get that first one to make Canada a little bit nervous in this 3rd place matchup. And coming into the game for Canada, Luce coming in for Brooklyn Courtnall. That's their 5th substitution used, 1 at halftime, 4 in this second half. It's another outside back to be brought in from SMU. Has 2 starts and 3 appearances prior to this game, so getting her 4th appearance against Puerto Rico. This ball played in behind to Jesus. Forces a tough save from Karpenko, and Leslie trying to clear. Michelle Burnt keeping it in. Puerto Rico looking a little bit dangerous in these final minutes. Left-footed service from Burnt. Can Jessica Torres convert? Her legs get caught up, and surely there'd be a check, but Katia Garcia shaking her head. We do have 2 VAR officials that'll advise her if it's worth a second look. Canada playing out of the back. Foul called on Brianna Pizarro. Canada takes over near midfield. Liliana Hernandez will come into the game. Jessica Torres, who had that last opportunity, makes way for the forward. A little bit different look and a system of play change, as Hernandez is indicating. Remains to be seen after this free kick to Canada. Rose electing to keep possession. Good first touch by the most recent substitute, Say, coming in. Davis Melcher putting her under pressure. And Hernandez gets her first touch, finding Molina. A lot of space for Molina, but coming back, Sonia Walk defensively. Nieves putting in work in that midfield. Both players caught up with the ball and attempting to get up. Play on. Well done by our center official, and Molina takes over. Pizarro getting away from pressure. Goes again, Pizarro. Mellenhorst chases. Perhaps trying to get this one on the box, or a corner kick is Pizarro, and a corner kick she earns for Puerto Rico. And the attack of Puerto Rico coming alive in these final minutes. Fighting to stay in this one. That final spot up for grabs for the World Cup, and Puerto Rico continuing to push. Service from Burnt near post, cut out by Ponte. Another corner kick, the 5th for Puerto Rico, and actually 5-3 in corner kicks towards Puerto Rico, 4 in the last 10 minutes. As they elect to play short, Garner finds Diaz, needs to get this one in the box. Diaz dispossessed by Ward as Garner gives chase. Nobody was back for Puerto Rico, rightfully so in these final minutes. Diaz looks long. Well cut out by Walk, but throw into Puerto Rico, and Burnt will look to get this one in very quickly. Rose electing to play in the space to make Puerto Rico chase, but Gonzalez-Cintron gets it at least temporarily. Now a throw into Canada. 16-year-old Gonzalez-Cintron has started all 7 games for Puerto Rico in that center back position. Also 2 goals to her credit on set pieces. As she gives chase, Holly Ward a tough one to come up against, and their legs get tangled a bit there, but a free kick to Canada, and that will burn more time off the clock as we get nearer to the 90th minute mark. Matt Gonzalez organizing his Puerto Rican team for these final moments. Ward playing short. Canada, all eyes on just completing this one, taking as much time off the clock as possible as Ward throws that one away from Puerto Rico. A little gamesmanship there from the Canadian forward. Nieves Melcher pressures, as she so often has since coming into the game, winning possession almost there for Puerto Rico. Ward keeping it content to keep possession in this corner. There will be 4 minutes added, so Canada still has 4 minutes to ensure that they will punch their ticket to the World Cup. Lisa Borjas Pastrana giving indication of the additional time. Puerto Rico looking better in the final 10 minutes of creating some set piece opportunities, getting more numbers forward, but Canada has just been up to the task anytime it has come close to their goal. Molina defending, and that'll be Canada throw. Grant Clavijo takes over under a lot of pressure from Nieves. Hit from behind is Holly Ward, drawing the foul on Brianna Pizarro, as Katia Garcia will have a bit of a conversation in these final minutes, and a little bit of frustration there trying to get the ball back. Ward looking to clip it in behind, defended by Nieves, and cleared. Great touch by Molina. She has De Jesus on the far side, not able to find her. That one going out. Holly Ward's done very well just to eat seconds and minutes off of this clock in the 4 minutes of extra time. Puerto Rico trying to generate something going forward in this game. That one will go across as well, and Puerto Rico in their best showing so far in a Concacaf Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifying event. A really young roster, only 4 players on this team in the actual birth year of 2002. The remaining 16 getting valuable experience, so a bright future for Puerto Rico as a corner kick is awarded to Canada. Three in the tight area to play short. Holly Ward elects to do so. Again, making sure they can ensure this victory. Puerto Rico still pushing. The Captain plays long, under hit, and Novak will collect on the far side for Canada. And final valuable seconds ticking off this clock as Canada gets closer to securing the World Cup berth, but an offside call on Grant Clavijo. Canadian bench getting ready to celebrate, and there it is. That's the final whistle, and celebrate they do. Canada, the 2-0 winners, and securing the World Cup berth in August in Costa Rica. Burns and Jord both providing the difference. The coaching staff enjoying a bit of relief. Canada wins 2-0 over Puerto Rico and secures the final berth to the World Cup. We'll be back after this with all the highlights and stats, and we'll wrap up then.